So students of class 7, this is our first lesson of theatre syllabus, so reading Swami and Friends. First of all, there is something that you should think about. You grow up so fast in high school, it's not something you wait for. It just kind of happens. One day you will look back and be proud of who you have become, but at the same time, you will miss who you were. So the writer name is not mentioned here, who wrote this, so it is anonymous. That's what young Swaminathan, the principal character in R.K. Narayan's novel Swami and Friends, discovers as he engages in the process of growing up in the fictional town of Malgudi. So something about R.K. Narayan's writing is mentioned here. His principal character Swaminathan uh, in Swami and Friends, who lived in that fictional town. Fictional town means it was not an original town. It was created by R.K. Narayan, the writer. So it is fictional town of Malgudi. Though his story is set in a period far removed from our day, way back in 1930s, his experiences are not too different from these of young people in many parts of India today. So the Swami who studied in the 1930s, way back from our time, still there is some similarity between what he faced there and what we are facing now. So this is it in the first slide. Let us move on to the next slide and see what is there. If this is a book you would like to read, go through the book review below. So this is what actually it is, a book review. So this is how we have to make a review of a book. Title of the book. First title of the book, Swami and Friends. Author R.K. Narayan. First published 1935. Genre, what kind of writing it is? It is fiction. It is not a factual writing. Publisher, Indian Thought Publications. Page extent, 216 pages. Price, rupees 130. Rating, 4.5 out of 5. So this is the rating that is given by people who reads. It was Monday morning. Swaminathan was reluctant to open his eyes. He was not willing to open his eyes. He considered Mondays especially unpleasant in the calendar. In the calendar, he hated that day, Monday. Why? After the delicious freedom of Saturday and Sunday, it was difficult to get into the Monday mood. So why it was difficult for him? Because after that relaxation that he has on Saturday and Sunday, it is difficult to get into Monday mood. That means to do all the classes. The opening lines of the book, Swami and the Friends, use the time-tested hook, dislike of Monday mornings, to reel in children and adults alike. The book transports us to a fictitious town called Malgudi in South India and takes us through a year in Swami's life as he makes new friends, fights with some old ones. Now, this is something of the review. The opening lines of the book Swami and Friends use the time-tested hook, dislike of Monday mornings, to reel in children and adults alike. That means whether it is the children or the adults, they alike dislike this Monday because it is full of duties and responsibilities, too many works. So these are the things for which children as well as the adults dislike the Mondays. So there is something universal in it. The book transports us to a fictitious town called Malgudi, and this is fictitious. Why? Because it is created by the imagination of R.K. Narayan in South India and takes us through a year in Swami's life as he makes new friends, fights with some old, fights with some old ones. So he makes new friends and fights with some old ones. That is what is referred to here in this review. Let us move on to the next slide. makes many mistakes, runs away from two schools and home, breaks his friend's heart, and eventually comes to terms with the different situations in his life. So what we learn about, he actually makes new friends, he fights with old ones, then makes many mistakes, runs away from two schools and home also, and breaks his friend's heart, and eventually comes to terms with the different situations in his life. Now, synopsis. The story follows the life and activities of Swami and his friends. So, what it deals with? It deals with the life and activities of Swami and his friends. Each chapter of the book is a complete episode. So, each chapter is a complete episode. The book begins with Swami's life in Albert Mission School's first form. So, section A. This is the class where he is now. So, he is reading in Albert Mission School. There, the scene opens. He has four good friends: Somu, the class monitor, towering Money, who monopolizes the last bench, then Sankar, the most brilliant boy of the class, and Samuel, also known as P because of his diminutive size. So he is very small in size, this Samuel, so he is the P of the class. Then he has among his friends Sankar, the most brilliant, then the class monitor Samu, then very huge Money, who actually sits in the back bench. So when the new boy in their class, Rajam, befriends Mani and Swami, it creates a rift in the gang. Now, one of the boys, Rajam, befriends Mani and Swami. It creates a rift in the gang, but Rajam diffuses the situation by making peace offerings to all. But soon, Rajam actually brought those things to normal by making peace offerings to all. Annual examinations and the summer holidays go by. The gang moves on to the next class with the exception of Somo. Sankar and his family move away from Malgudi. Now everyone was there. They passed that standard and were actually promoted to the next class, but with the exception of Somu, he could not pass. Sankar and his family moves away from Malgudi. Then these are the things that happened. One day outside the school gates, Swami joins a protest mob and breaks a piece of the ventilator in the headmaster's office. The following day, when the headmaster punishes him for his actions, Swami gathers his things and rushes out, vowing never to return to Albert Mission School. A few days later, Swami's father enrolls him in Board High School. So these things happened. One protestation was there, and he breaks a pane of the ventilator in the headmaster's office, and that's why he was punished, and he left the school, and his father gave him admission in Board High School. So that's it in this presentation. I will come up with the next things in the lesson in the next presentation. Till that time, goodbye. Thank you.